inflation?
No, I don't think we really understand. And the problem is, if we don't understand history and inflation, we're going to mess up our retirement one day. That is the link.
Yeah.
So let's go back into history to the year 1937.
Wow.
So that's 86 years ago. And if at that year we wanted to buy a brand new Plymouth, which was the luxury car
Of the year.
if we
of
were going to
time.
buy that car, we would have had a chauffeur.
Oh, wow.
It was that kind of car.
Okay.
That car would have cost us 590 rand.
No ways.
So 590 rand, we would have paid for the car. The chauffeur would have had a brand new car, and we would have been able to drive around in luxury. That was the effect of inflation between that time and now.
Yeah.
But let's drive to a more realistic time, 1995.
Okay.
Now, in 1995, we decided we wanted to buy a new Audi.
Yeah.
Luxury model, the best Audi that we could buy in South Africa. If we wanted to buy that, we would need to have put down 169,000 rand.
Is that all?
Would have bought us an automatic, top-of-the-range Audi 1995.
Yeah.
Now, if we really wanted to impress our neighbors and we wanted a BMW 7 Series instead.
Those massive vehicles.
That's the one with the telephone in the car.
That's right, because mobile car phones were just starting to become
They were available.
95.
They were the size of a refrigerator, but they were in the car.
True story.
Now, that would have cost us 510,000 rand.
No ways.
The best equivalent today for that particular model with the new technology is, of course, around 2.3 million rand.
So that's
today.
That's an idea already of inflation.
That's already an idea of inflation.
To 2.3.
So what has that got to do with us? The lesson we really need to understand is that the day we retire, inflation doesn't stop.
And that's a problem.
It continues. And why that is important, I often get people contacting me and saying, I'm about to retire and I've got 2 million rand available. And then they assume that is going to be enough to last them until the day they die. Now, it's not. In most cases, it's not going to be enough. So let's look at between 2017 and 2023.
That's just a 5-year period.
That's a 5-year period. Meat in that period of time went up 35%. Oil went up 31%. Milk went up 21%. Vegetables went up 19%. Now, that has already meant that your buying power just on meat went down 35%. So if you were wanting the top class steak in that 5-year period, if your income didn't go up by 35% while on pension, you already would have had to have dropped to a cheaper cut of meat. That is the problem that we face. So the other issue that we need to understand is that you want to retire at 55. You are likely to live another 35 to 40 years on retirement. And if in a 5-year period, your expenses went up by 35%, what is it going to look like after 35 years? The worst horror story I've ever had was visiting a retired school teacher who had retired in 1952, and she lived in Goodwood. Her entire family had left South Africa, and the son had worried about his mother and asked me just to pop in to visit. And the day I got to her house, she had no electricity because she could no longer afford it. And on the counter, there was a tin of dog food. That was her lunch. She had been a school teacher. She was too proud to tell her kids, but that was her reality. That was what she was left with. So while she had the house, she wasn't able to afford the electricity. Her pension was now paying her rates, and there was nothing left over for anything else. And so I had to have a very honest conversation with her family, and they had to step in, and they had to begin to take care of Mom. Just because they were absent in South Africa didn't mean that she was coping. So what is it that I say to people who come to me and say, I need to retire? The first thing you need to understand, the reality is we live longer today than we did 25, 30 years ago.
True.
Inflation is more of a problem today than it's been before. Most of us change jobs today more than we did 30 years ago. 30 years ago when we retired, we were on guaranteed pension. That pension stuck up with inflation. It is not the case today. So today when you retire, you need more than one income stream.
Yeah.
If the pension you're planning on today is going to be fixed, you're going to run out of money. If the pension you plan on today is only linked to CPI, you're going to run out of money. You need more than one income stream. And at least one of those streams must have inflation built into the payment that's going to be made to you. It is far more complicated than the average layperson can work out. You need to get proper advice, not from a salesperson, from somebody who is a CFP. There are 10,000 of us in South Africa. Get proper advice. And don't start planning it 2 weeks before you go on retirement.
Exactly.
You're going to place yourself in difficulty.
Yeah.
Start early enough, and you can get it sorted out. It's just a matter of knowing more than the average layperson is likely to know.
Exactly.
So it can work out. It just means you've got to take some effort to get your strategy together. Inflation can, in fact, be your friend as well.
Sure. Thank you so much, Nico, and really something very important for us to think about and to deal with. Always great to chat to you. Thank you so much.